Hello, Internet! I'm Melly the Purple Hair Doofus, and welcome to Buddy Reads, where I read a small selection of a book and review it for you. Today we are continuing our journey through The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. Today we are covering chapters 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. I hope you've read up to that point yourself, because I do not want to ruin anything for you. This section starts off with Kavoth and Denna. I know, you're probably just as irritated with them as I am, and bored with them as I am. If not, you're thinking I'm a huge jackass right now. I have to be honest with you, that dynamic right there does not thrill me at all. But Kavoth and Denna are walking away from the bar after their night with his friends. Kavoth is asking her about her previous boyfriends. Denna's like, oh yeah, they're fine. There's one that got conned by a woman. Kavoth says, how do you know about this con? And Denna's like, wouldn't you like to know? And then she starts like rubbing her finger right here, and Kavoth's like, where's your ring? And Denna's like, how did you know I had a ring? And Kavoth's like, well, it's not like I've been staring at you and lusting after you ever since I met you and realized every detail about you, and everything that changes about you I notice, and oh my god, are you so pretty? It's so bad. He notices the ring missing, and she says, oh, I gave it to Ambrose. He said that he was going to fix it for me. Kavoth's like, oh, so you're with Ambrose? And she's like, no, not really. Things didn't work out between the two of us. And Kavoth's like, and I'm like, damn it! I was really hoping that Denna would just go away. But Kavoth says, you know what I can do? I can get that ring back for you. I can be the awesome hero that you want and get that ring back for you if you want. No, Kavoth, no. Just let her go. And so does he go and have a friendly conversation with Ambrose and try and get the ring back? Does he have friends try and talk Ambrose into giving the ring back? Does he sit both Ambrose and Denna down to have a conversation about getting the ring back? No, Kavoth is a complete idiot, and he decides that he is going to break into Ambrose's room and risk expulsion to get this ring back for Denna. He breaks into the room, he can't find the ring, and then the window shuts behind him, and he is locked in the room. Crap, right? So he's scrambling for a way out, and he decides to jump from the roof of the building and fall on his hands and knees. There's shingles that are falling around him, bumping his head, breaking all around him, breaking him, and Kavoth is hurt badly. And I'm like, good! Holy, Yes, I like this. Because Kavoth needs to be taken down a peg. I like it when he messes up, when he screws up, when he does something so incredibly wrong. He goes to his friends. His friends are in his room, and they're discussing their alibis of where they were this faithful night. Willem actually says, you know, I heard a rumor about you, Kavoth. And Kavoth's like, oh yeah, what's that? And Willem says, you know, I heard a rumor that you were kind of done with this antagonist stuff with this Ambrose fella, but that can't be right, can it? Kavoth is like, I kind of see where you're going there. We're cool. And Willem says, well, then is it time to start admitting that you're going a little too far for this Denna woman? And I'm like, thank you, Willem! Thank you! You finally said everything that I've been trying to scream at this character right now. But Kavoth doesn't listen. Of course Kavoth doesn't listen. I guarantee you top dollar that in the next section, Kavoth is back with Denna pining after her. Kavoth has a broken arm, he has scraped elbows and knees. He goes to the fishery to start building things again so he can start collecting money to pay off his debt towards the debt collector and pay off tuition for next semester. And when he goes to pick up supplies, there's a note next to his name that says, please tell Kavoth to come see me. And it's from the owner of the fishery. So Kavoth is like, oh crap, what have I done now? And he goes to visit the owner, and the owner's like, Kavoth, you've been doing this for quite a long time. You've been making lamps for quite a long time. How do you feel about that? And Kavoth is like, I really want to pay my bills. The owner's like, I understand that, but how do you feel about making lamps? And Kavoth is like, they really put food on my table. The owner says, I understand that, Kavoth, but you're not answering my question. How do you actually feel about building lamps? Kavoth is like, oh, if I have to build one more lamp, I'm going to die of boredom. And the owner's like, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. I don't want you to build lamps anymore. I still want you to work for me, but I want you to get really creative. I know you have it in you. I want you to build something so fantastic that it sells incredibly well. And I want you to do amazing things with your creativity. And Kvothe is like, really? Awesome. He like starts walking away to like get supplies, and then he starts getting really lightheaded, and he falls onto his broken knees, and he's like, no, that hurts. And then he passes out. Kvothe wakes up in the hospital. What's her name? Della? Della is there looking after him, and she's like, don't worry, Kvothe, you'll be fine. You'll be a-okay. Kvothe's like, really? Thank you, angel lady. You're so pretty. And Della says, yes, you've only suffered minor injuries. You've suffered a heat stroke, but there are some other things that I need to check out. Like these wounds that look like you've fallen off the roof of a hotel. And Kvothe's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, what were you doing on the roof of the hotel? Why did you break into Ambrose's room? Why am I looking at all these scrapes all over your arms and knees and broken bones? Why do you look like this? And Kvothe's like, I don't look like that. You're crazy, lady. And his friends walk in, and I believe she asks Synth first, why is Kvothe broken? Synth's like, I don't know. And then she asks Willem. Willem says, Kvothe is pining after Denna, and he broke into Ambrose's room because Ambrose stole a ring from her, and he wants to get it back for her and impress her. I mean, I don't know. And Philip's like, why didn't you just tell me that, you jackass? And Kvothe's like, I don't know, pretty angel lady. Phyllis like, I know Ambrose is an asshole. I know how he treats women. You could have just told me this, and everything would have been fine. But no, you had to lie to me. Why did you have to lie to me? Pretty lizard lady, please stop yelling at me. And it's like, everyone knows how Ambrose is, and that excuse would have been just a very bland excuse that no one would have realized was true. And Fella's like, okay, fine. I'll leave your bumps and scratches off of the reports. Drink some water. Stay off roofs. Fella's like, thank you, lizard lady. And he goes away. Well, he goes with his friends. Kvothe then goes to school the next day, and he has class with... My eyes kept on getting blurry while I was reading this, and every time I read his name, it read Dal. And Dal is the guy that hosted the battles that the students would have against each other. And Dal actually sits Kvothe down, and he says, I wanted to warn you that from now on, I'm going to have to start using 2 students against you because you're too powerful. And Kvothe was like, I understand. And they have this long conversation about magic and how it works and blah de blah. And Kvothe asks about names. And Dal says, it's actually a very rude question to ask what names I know, because once you know the names that I know, then you can use that against me. And he says, well, is it rude to ask how many you know? And Dell says, I know 2 of them. And he says, can you show me one of them? And Dell says, fire! Like Beavis. And fire happens on the table next to him. And both is like, wow, so fire's a name? And Dell is like, no, I didn't actually say fire! But that's what you heard. I actually said the name, but your mind translated it as fire! And, well, here you are. And both's like, huh. Interesting. How many of those little name things does Master Elodin know? Dallas like, I don't know. He knows so many actually. And Kvothe like, oh, interesting. And Kvothe goes on his way. And as he's walking home, he starts getting this crazy itch, like all over his body. And he has to strip off his shirt and run into the lake and go, ah! And the water is cooling off the itch. He comes out and he's got this red mark all over his chest and red marks all down his arms from where he's scratched. And he's just like, well, the itch is relieved, but that was weird. Maybe I'm poisoned from when I was working in the lab and that one little drop of something landed on my shirt. I hope not. And he goes to his friends, and his friends are like, go tell the nurse. And he's like, I told the nurse, and she just said it was in my mind. And they're like, okay. And Kvothe goes up to start singing a song for his rent, and as he's singing, his hand starts cramping up, and his arms start cramping up, and his arms start turning red, and the veins are becoming visible and red, and it's like a whole Akira moment right there on stage. And his friends are like, oh crap, we gotta get Kvothe out of there. They grab Kvothe and he's like, I have to go. And they're like, okay, we're gonna get you out. And they like walk him off the stage. They take him home, lying him in bed, and they're like, we've never seen anything like this. What is going on with you? And he's like, I don't know, I think I'm poisoned. And they're like, no, this isn't poison, this is something else. And I think it was Willem said, it looks like sympathy. It looks like someone like is using your blood against you. Do you know anyone that has your blood? But it was like, I know one person. And they're like, who? He's like, Debbie the debt collector. And they're like, who? And he's like, there's a debt collector who collects blood for money. And they're like, do you think that she would use it against you? I don't think so. And then Willem's like, wait a minute, you don't mean Debbie? And he's like, yeah, that's the one. And Willem's like, Debbie is like, she's notorious for using blood against people. She actually became expelled for using blood against people. Why in the world would you ever trust a woman like that to use your blood for money? And he's like, it was the only way I could make money to keep going to school. And his friends were like, okay, we're gonna help you out here, Kvothe. We're gonna look after you, take turns night after night, make sure that you don't explode from blood poisoning, but you need to distract her in some way. Kvothe's like, I have an idea! And he starts like paper cutting himself with leaves, and he's like running half naked on top of roofs during this wild storm, and he's like paper cutting himself with leaves and just spreading the leaves out, trying to confuse the blood thingy, the blood trying to confuse the blood spell as to where he is, and he's just spreading his blood as far as it will go. He comes across Ari. And I'm like, yes, Ari, you're back. Well, he's like, I don't want to scare Ari, so I'll just hide in the shadows. And Ari's like, well, is that you? Kvothe's like, yeah, that's me. And he says, what are you doing here on top of the rooftops? Oh, no. Kvothe isn't supposed to ask questions to Ari. He knows that it scares her. And like the lightning strikes after he asks the question and she's gone. Oh, I don't want to wait another 100 pages for her to come back. I like her. He chases after her, thankfully, and he catches up with her. And she's like skirt in this like shadowy corner, and he's like, I am so sorry. Please forgive me. And Ari's like, fine. Fine. But what is wrong with you? You look like Clayman. Well, it wasn't Clayman, but it was something like it was a mythical creature, and he looked like it because he had the leaves all over his wounds and the blood dripping from his hands. And he explained this whole situation, and Ari's like, I can help. I know how to help. I can help you. I can help you I can help you. And Kvothe's like, really? And she says, yes, come with me. And she guides him through these small tunnels to a underground river. And she collects all of these bottles, and she's like, put blood in the bottle. And Kvothe starts putting blood in these tiny little bottles, and she's like, hair. And Kvothe starts pulling out his hair and putting it in the bottles too. She corks them up tight and then sends them down the river. And so the blood is sent down the river, and that is pretty much where the section ends. On the one hand, we're finally seeing Kvothe mess up. On the other hand, it doesn't make me like Kvothe any more than I did before, because right now I'm just kind of like, good. Right now I'm just like, thank God, because every time that Kvothe tries to do something and actually pulls it off and then is just so pompous and just completely full of himself about it, I just hate him a little bit more. And so when he messed up, I was like, thank God, because he needed to be taken down a peg. And the whole thing with Denna and the brilliant Willem. Thank you, Willem. And then to finish off with Ari in this section is just fantastic, because I adore her so much. If you like what I'm doing, go ahead and click the subscribe button. If you like this video specifically, go ahead and click the like button. And go ahead and leave a comment letting me know exactly what you think about Kvothe being just so full of himself. And how you think when he messes up. I've been Alex the Purple Hair Doofus. This has been Buddy Reads, reminding you to watch the Pajama Radius. And I will see you all in the next section of The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. Toodles!